Cool. Here we go. About to start in just a minute. Let me know how the audio sounds. If it sounds good, let me know. Please. Trying a new mic setup here. Hey everyone. I just went live for like 30 minutes and realized it was on unlisted, so it was totally pointless everything I said. Well, it wasn't pointless, but my point was to engage with you live, and I was wondering why I wasn't getting anybody. And sure enough, it was because I had it unlisted. So, or was it private? It was one of those, but either way, no one freaking tuned in. So I decided, hey, I still have, another 30 minutes, so I'm going to redo it. So here we go, part two. And a little blooper for the holidays. Um, so with that said, I'm going to basically repeat a lot of what I said that most of you probably missed. Um, Thank you for tuning in for those who have. And for those who have supported my video, my content that I've been creating over the past years, especially this year in particular. As you all know, we've all been dealing with a new way of life, right? COVID. Thank you very much. I've been really trying to make more of an effort to create more content. Well, not unfortunately, but I've been blessed with client projects, personal projects, and as you may know, I've been getting into rediscovering my filmmaking passion, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. But with that said, no excuse. I felt the bug today to just jump online, totally unscripted, unplanned. Everything's unplanned today. And I wanted to give a moment to perhaps ask you whether you have any questions for the holidays, any issues you've come across as a photographer, and I would love to answer any of those for you. So make sure that you go on and ask me whatever questions you may have. Let me see if I can get into my own. Here we go. I'm live right now. Awesome. Okay. So remember, you can ask me anything, folks. Like, go ahead. It's all good. Okay. So, um, now, until you feel like you have a few questions you would like to ask, I just want to share with you a few things that I have coming up. If you follow me on Instagram, which you can right here, make sure you do at Robert Silver Photography. Go ahead and follow me there. If you have any quick questions through your photography journey, you can always inbox me there. I do reply to all the inquiries, questions, concerns, or just saying hi and what's up on Instagram. So make sure you go ahead and follow me there. You'll see all my latest work that I'm posting. And yeah, that's where I'm on and active the most, which is on Instagram, okay? And if you follow me, you know what? I'm just going to follow you back. So how about that? All right? Of course, you could go ahead and follow me on other social media platforms like Facebook. Definitely, I'm on that. And of course, like I said, Instagram, Patreon, which I haven't. Anyway, people have been telling me to do it, but I'll get to it soon enough. Okay? And, oh, awesome. I appreciate that. Who is this here? That's the Hawks Hope. Cool. I'm glad the audio is clear and the volume is great. Awesome. I'll keep this setup going. Thank you very much. 2 thumbs up. And of course, you follow me on Twitter at Robert Silver Photog, and I am on Snapchat, but I'm barely really that active. So just catch me on Instagram or YouTube, and Facebook is the best ways. Okay. So with that said, let me fill you in with a few things that I have going on. First is, as you can tell, this episode is called The Joy of Photography, the Christmas Q&A edition. And the reason why it's called The Joy of Photography is because I'm kind of paying an artistic homage to an artist that really influences the way I try to approach my photography, and that is the man himself, the legend, Bob Ross. And his show he had on for many years on PBS was The Joy of Painting. And for me, I just love his creative process, his childlike approach, and his freedom that he finds in the process of painting. And I really try to find that. I try to instill that with my work and how I approach photography and filmmaking. And so therefore it's kind of like paying a little homage. So my episodes when I go live are generally, well, they were called Let's Talk Photography, and now I'm calling it The Joy of Photography. So let me know down below. Let me know what you think about that. It is what it is. It's still going to be that name. But I'd like to hear from you. What if there's an artist, a photographer, or whoever that inspires you and motivates you to push your creative boundaries? Let me know who that is. Maybe I want to go check them out. That'd be pretty awesome. So that's the first immediate change. I do want to go live more often, and again, like I did about 2 months ago, I invited models, my model friends, to jump in on live with me. If you'd like to see more models join live with me, feel free, post a comment down below. I want to know what I could do for you to create better content. So just to let you know, if you follow me on Robert Silva Photography on Instagram, you may know the past week I've been talking about presets. I'm personally in the middle of making 3 collections of presets. One based on fashion photography, one based on beauty photography, and one based on general portraits and like lifestyle commercial photography. So it'll be 3 different collections. So with that said, I just want to show you, here's a little preview, if you will, of a few photos that I have edited using the presets that I will be offering to all of you. Obviously, you could partake. If you don't, I won't take it personal. That's fine. You're dead to me. No, but honestly, I find it how useful. I've been not how useful. Once I've made a few of these presets, I immediately start to realize how fast my workflow is because I refer back to them personally myself and use my own presets. But these presets are made after 8 years of trial and error, me making tons of mistakes and taking forever, but trying to push the envelope and really create a unique experience with each photo I create. Now, every photo you see me post, whether it be on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, I actually take care of from the beginning, meaning the planning, the production, the actual shooting, and post-processing of the photo. I don't send these out. Everything you've seen me edit, whether it be good or bad, I've done myself. So, with that said, I want to bring that experience to all of you, all the trial and error, the mistakes and everything, and hopefully help speed up your workflow a little bit faster, okay? And again, as many other photography YouTubers, presets are just a starting point. You're gonna manipulate a bit. It may not be exactly the way you want it, but it gives you a head start. And I even proved it to a model yesterday who came over, and I was showing her some basic edit, and then when I used the preset, I was done with the photo in a fraction of the time. It was pretty cool. So like I said, the first set that I'm making is going to be based on fashion and fashion editorial photography. So hopefully you like what I just shared with you, and what I make, and I'll keep you posted. So stay tuned for all that, okay? If you like the photos that I was sharing, these right here, let me know what you think down below, how the edits came out, the photography, etc. Okay? As many of you know, I do a lot of in-studio. I shoot out of a studio in downtown Oakland, and I also do a lot of on location, whether it be natural light or using some artificial light. When it comes to flash, I like when it's outdoor. I really like balancing ambient and the artificial light and using it more or less to fill in shadows, etc., to compensate for the lack of light, perhaps. But this year, like especially toward the end of 2020, I have been really pushing stepping out of my comfort zone, like pushing the boundaries of my creative zone and doing things that I shouldn't. Like um, recently, I did a photo shoot where I just took a flash. It was the Godox 8600. I used the 7-inch silver reflector, a very specular, harsh lighting is created using that modifier. And then it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, very high noon lighting, very harsh lighting. Took a model, one of my muses that you've seen on Instagram a lot, and I purposely shot using that in the natural ambient light, and it created such an awesome character of hard light. It really made it really made it really made my photos pop. I loved it. I really did. It added something that wouldn't have been created using a softbox or shooting at golden hour or blue hour or anything like that, which was really great. And it really opened me up to not be so restrictive during the time of day. And it's really about overcoming the whatever the obstacle in the environment gives you, which you normally have no control over. And as a photographer, being able to solve that problem. So it was really fun pushing myself out of that comfort zone. So I hope you guys are doing that as well. Let me see if you guys have any questions. Okay, I see something already. Okay. The Hawks Hope says, I love the images in the studio with the beige t-shirt. Some of them remind me of a Renaissance painting. They have that approach, and you're right. Well, first of all, thank you very much for checking that photo out specifically. The way I approached that editing was to give a more film noir appeal to the photo. I want it to be slightly I didn't want it to be so crisp, so I added more matte, like a matte finish to it. When I print my photos, I love printing on matte paper personally, and I just love what it does to the aesthetic of the image. So I really appreciate you noticing that, because honestly, that's what I was going for. Not Renaissance per se, but more of a matte and not quite as polished and sharp and everything else that you expect from all these high megapixel images. And it was really to go take a step back. But I really dig that you dig it, so that's awesome. Thank you very much. Again, that'll be one of the presets that I will be offering in my first fashion photography collection. So please stay tuned. I'll be doing a sale promotion or something for all of you. And worst comes to worst, of course, I'm here to answer your questions, not just to peddle my damn presets. I'm available pretty much any social media. So with all that said, do you have any questions about photography during the holidays? We all have time now to work on our craft, to get a little bit better, maybe to learn how to solve a problem we keep running into. You know, even with almost 10 years of experience, I still come across plenty of problems. I love coming across problems because once I solve them, that means I'm that much closer to the photographer I envision myself to be. Problems help you become a better decisive, more thinker, a better director on set, because when I'm putting together an editorial, beauty editorial, whatnot to publish, I'm working with a team, and they come to you to solve problems. You know, your team does. So doing it on your own really just helps for you to sharpen your arrows in your quiver. Me personally, recently, about 2 days ago, I bought the Lumix S5 camera. I love this camera. It's really amazing. It's really awesome. And it's going to be the B camera to my, do I have it? No, it's over there. To my S1H. When I'm doing my film work, I wanted a lightweight running gun film camera that will give me the same quality and output as my S1H, as my A camera. So this is like my perfect grab and go film camera. But also, it's the same sensor. It's 24 megapixel sensor and everything else as the S1, so I don't lose quality when I'm shooting my portraits and everything else. But it's super duper duper compact, so I love it. And with the latest update, it now does 5.9K, so I could shoot like serious freaking film with this. This is awesome. So I got this camera, but I still have a lot to learn about the camera, the features and functions, etc. So during this holiday, specifically tomorrow for Christmas, I'm going to be shooting tons of B-roll and of the family, opening gifts and everything else, everything throughout the day, and just creating a video, maybe 60-second, 90-second video. But ultimately, my goal is to learn and understand the video functions of this camera better. So I'm basically giving myself homework. And I'm wondering, are you taking this time and answer clients' calls? Are you giving yourself homework? And if so, what is that homework? I want to know from you. The Hawks Hope says, what insights do you have when assembling a consistent team, and what do they take away from their experiences, money aside? That's a great question. This last quarter, I got published, I think, 3 times, like within the past 2 months. And I'm already published in something else. It hasn't come out yet. It'll be out in January. Every time I've been able to create a set of images that I'm proud of and the magazine picks up, always involves a team. Like, team is number one. When someone says, man, I love that photo, generally I'm like, well, awesome. And I say that we did a good job, meaning my team and I. Photographer always gets the great credit of creating a dope photo, but you gotta realize it involves a team. Now, back to your question. Like, what I would do, honestly, when you're saying, talking about assembling a consistent team, I have a makeup artist that actually does hair too. She went to cosmetology school. I would start with a makeup artist, because the makeup can make or break your portrait, especially beauty editorial. They know how to work with skin and hopefully different complexions of skin. They know how to take care of the skin and whatever it needs to do, the makeup and all that. I say get somebody who's really, really good at makeup first over someone who's a hairstylist. Hairstylists are really amazing too, especially some good ones. But for me, thankfully, I found somebody who could do both. And that saves me scheduling time, because now I just have to worry about one person's schedule. We're talking about the creative team now before we get the model, because she could do both. And she went to school for it, so therefore she understands what the health precautions of dealing with models, etc., and being safe and everything else. That goes for the skin and dealing with hair and all that other stuff, products and whatnot. And they're hungry. They're professionally hungry. They're hungry and they have a clear division. A lot of times, the ones that are like really trained in being a makeup artist, they're hungry and will help you push your career and your creativity further. I have 2 great, fantastic beauty editorials I will be shooting in January, and both those makeup artists are like, classically trained, if you will. They went to school, and they're also going to seminars. They're doing whatever they do to become better, just as I'm doing what I have to do as a photographer. So I would start with a fantastic makeup artist, because a makeup artist needs photos like a photographer does to sell their work. So you linking up is already a great mutual benefit. So I would start off with a makeup artist for sure. And if they could do both, well, then it's a jackpot right there. Because then all you're really worrying about is your talent and maybe a fashion stylist, okay? But in general, a model knows how to generally style their own hair. Oh, put it in a ponytail, pull it back, let's make it wet, or leave it curly and messy. Like, they generally know how to style their hair enough for you to produce a great set of images. Makeup, there's an art to that. So if you want to do some avant-garde work or something to really push the envelope, like, most models in general know how to do a simple plain makeup, great, and that's awesome for headshots, portfolio work, lifestyle. But when you want to do like beauty editorial and really push it, you need somebody who's very trained in that, and that is a makeup artist who just does makeup, or that's their thing. Okay, you've heard of the saying, what is it? A jack of all trades but a master of none. You don't want a model, I do this and no, I want you to be model, do great at modeling, because modeling is an art in itself. And then a model who could do their own makeup, sure, but the ones that I do that allow them to do their own makeup is generally for those clean face looks. Boom. Done. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do a lifestyle shoot. Let's do a headshots or whatever. But if you want to do serious beauty editorial stuff like that and push down up or fashion photography, get yourself a makeup artist first. I hope that helps. Someone that's local to you, I'd say within 20 miles from you. So therefore, you guys could regularly, consistently rely on each other. I have one. Her name's Diane Tilo, and she is awesome. You could check her out, DJ_glammed on Instagram. She's fantastic, and she's only about 15-20 minutes away from me. I text her all the time. We update each other every week or so on our availability for like the next 2 weeks, so that in case we have projects, we include each other. We have a great chemistry. She's amazing. And when you get a good team, hold on to them. And when you get a pay gig, include them. Pay them. They're worth it. They are worth it. They will tell their friends about your work. They will produce even hotter work for unpaid shoots because you looked out for them. Take care of your team. Okay, and always, tag them and credit them. Let them know any good photo, honestly, involves a team. Lindsay Adler has an awesome, amazing team she works with. So her photo involves team effort. So if you like her photo, yes, she's the director, the chief in charge of the direction of the image, but involves a team every time. So start with the good makeup artist. I hope that helps. And the last part you were saying, what do they take away from their experiences? Honestly, I've heard, and this is not to like toot my horn, but I've heard more times where my makeup artist appreciates what I shared with them from my perspective as a photographer to them. Because a lot of times they don't, perhaps, again, they're waiting for you and your instruction on how to approach the photos. Yes, they know how to do makeup and everything else, but a lot of times your team looks to you for direction, for leadership. Okay? So you got to put on your leadership hat, your captain's hat, and really not only give them a clear, concise vision, but also support, inspiration, motivation, and a good time, a happy atmosphere. There's a way to be stern, but respectful. Okay? And clear communication. And trust me, they take away, a lot of the things they take away are like subliminal things, like emotions, like just enjoying your working with you. So hopefully it's what you've learned that you bring to the table and share what it is from your perspective. And that, I think, is the best takeaway. I try to help my models become better models, not just for my work, but just for the industry itself, just for to be better, for better sake. Okay, so I try to advise them, maybe give them direction and maybe areas where in which they could go improve, maybe show them videos, whatever, and that might make them better for another photographer in their next shoot. But trust and believe, I just built some credibility with that model, so when I need to work with them next, they're like, you know what, he doesn't just take great photos, he really cares about pushing me and becoming better. So that really applies to your entire team. So I hope that helps, and that was a lot, wasn't it? So I hope that wasn't too winded. With all that said, let's talk about a couple of things you could be doing during the holidays. Okay? One thing is, like I did, I gave myself a personal project. You should give yourself a personal project. How about just capturing an event or whatnot, or taking photos with just one lens? We all have fantastic, capable cameras that produce fantastic images. I don't care what brand you have. It doesn't matter. Everything, all these cameras, anything made the past 5 years produces great images, okay? That's not the issue. 9 times out of 10, the issue is you. You're the problem. You're the reason why that photo didn't work out. It's not the camera. The camera only changes its settings when you do it for it. So take this time, grab one lens, and shoot with it. And the reason why I found that to be useful is because I found out for myself, especially this year, is where I purposely chose one lens and just shoot an entire shoot with it instead of portraits. And I realized during that process what it's done for me. It slows me down. You know, these mirrorless cameras have so many bells and whistles, this, that, and the third, where, You can get lost in the process, in the fast-paced process of mirrorless and digital, that we lose track of the benefit of slowing the process down. And I think taking one lens does that. And one example is that, like, I like taking a prime lens, like a 50, and just shoot everything with the 50. And I realized that I can't zoom in, I can't zoom out. I have to actually move and engage and communicate with my subject. And that really forces me to think. And in thinking, I'm slowing down because I want to make sure I'm like, okay, I need to do this. All right, I want to include this in the frame. Okay, I need to move here. I need to do that. I move more. I just move more. And moving more adds a lot of juice to your photos. It really does. Or taking one zoom lens. What I like to do is take an odd lens and use it for portraits. And you're like, what's an odd lens? Well, for me, it would be like the 16 to 35 millimeter or 14 to 24 millimeter, and shoot portraits with it. Now, there are countless videos on YouTube that says, don't really do portraits, anything wider than 35 millimeter, right? Maybe 24 would be the last. I say, screw that. Go for it. Worst comes to worst, no one ever sees it. But what it helps you to do is step out your comfort zone. Because we're taught, especially as emerging photographers, to stay within this prism. Use 50 millimeter, 85 millimeter for portraits, yada, yada, or 105 millimeter. But what happens if you use a 14 or a 16? Well, it creates another characteristic in the portrait that only that shooting at that focal length will give you. Like shooting with a fisheye. Shooting with a fisheye will always give you that characteristic that no other lens will give you. So why keep producing or replicating styles of images and shot in a particular way that everybody's doing? Like, that is so boring to me. Then you're just not a copycat, you're just a copy machine, really. Me personally, I like shooting with a 16 or a 20 millimeter and shooting portraits, because the distortion you're getting when it comes to portraits, it adds such a unique look that to me is compelling. And for social media, you want to stand out. You want to be compelling. You want to be memorable. And that is one creative way. Now, I'm not saying do it all the time, but don't shy away from thinking about it. Again, it's about having arrows in your quiver, right? And when I go to show up to a shoot, I may have in my trunk 6 lenses, but I'm like, okay, what does the styling look like? Let's look at the proportion of my subject, right? Are they short? Are they tall? Big, small, whatever. And then I look at the environment that my subject's in. And then I say, okay. Then I look at my lenses like paintbrushes. Seriously, just like paintbrushes. Okay, how do I want to... which lens, and then what is the characteristic of that lens going to give me that I want out of this photo? Okay, I like that. Okay, let's try this wide lens and see what it does. Vice versa. Choose a tight lens, like an 85 or 105, and include more of the environment. Shoot wider portraits with it. Now, I'm not going to lie. I think I have something here. Oh, thank you, the Hawks Hope. He enjoyed the answer. Good, I'm glad. I thought I was a little long-winded. But anyway, take an 85. That's a simple one to start with. I used a 105 a little while back, the Nikon 105 1.4 lens. And I shot street photography and environmental portraits, meaning I included more in the environment that the subject is in. Now, personally, when I pull out an 85 or a 105, a lot of times I want to isolate the subject, right, from a busy background, or I just want to get punching close, right, headshots, etc., and get that beautiful bouquet in the back and obliterate the background. But when I first got the 105 millimeter lens, I purposely went street photography with it. I said, let me see what gonna happen. So I shot some cityscape. I shot, what was it? When the Navy comes into town, Blue Angels came into town and stuff in San Francisco. I just walked around shooting with that focal length, the 105 millimeter. And let me tell you, it was very interesting. Obviously, I couldn't zoom out, to a 24 millimeter or something like that. So I had to really move and find space between me and my subject. And again, I was trying to not only shoot a subject, but I wanted to also include the environment they were in. So I had to go wide, wide, wide. That meant I had to go further back, 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 back. So I had to actually, again, move. I had to put my photography into action, not just stand there as if opportunities for photos were going to come to me. I had to create it. Therefore, moving back, moving forward, looking, planning, and looking through my viewfinder before I take the photo. Okay, I don't like that. Let me try this and that. And of course, timing, because my subjects, if you're doing street photography, are not waiting for you. But I like the exercise. I like what it did. I purposely didn't pull out any other lens, no matter how frustrating it got. I even tried shooting cyclists with the lens and like, oh boy. But either way, I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the homework I gave myself. And that's what I'm saying. Use this time during the holiday to give yourself some homework. I literally am not going to answer calls or anything from my clients, no matter how many emails they feel like they want to email me. I hope they're enjoying their time with their family. But I'm going to, again, take this time to strengthen my videography skills. Personally, I want to get better at shooting handheld when it comes to video. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just shoot tons of B-roll and see what happens and just have fun in the process of creating content. So use this time to do just that for you. So as I said, dabble in shooting with a prime. Okay, I think that would be great. Dabble with shooting with a super wide lens. Maybe, take portraits with a super wide lens. I think that's a great exercise. Another one is take this time to better your composition. I don't know how important that is, but it's just super important for you to master composition. I'd rather you master composition first than lighting. You'll learn lighting. It will happen. You'll get better at your exposure triangle and all that good stuff. You're gonna figure it all out. That will come. Composition is there's an art to it. Take more time to understand and master composition. Now is a great time where your life is slowed down. It's the holidays. You could use some simple holiday objects and just practice composition with it. Look them up online. There's countless compositional rules you could practice right now that doesn't require flashes, doesn't require you to get a new lens or new body or whatever. As a matter of fact, you could practice compositional rules with your iPhone. So there's really no excuse for you to not practice composition. Like, now is a perfect time to practice composition. I do it all the time. I try to create lines, depth, color, contrast, framing, whatever it is in my portraits. I can say that's the one thing I try to improve the most. I'm pretty safe enough to say confidently I understand lighting and create, I'm still trying to create new ways to modify and shape light, but I know where I'm going with that. Composition is that fine art that makes that photo so fantastic someone can't clearly tell you why they love a photo. They'll just say, oh, she looks beautiful. But really, it's like the subliminal language of photography. That's what composition is. It's the reason why you love a photo. It's the words in between the lines, okay? In poetry, if you will. So composition, take the time to practice some of it. Take leading lines and create a set of photos using leading lines or framing or proportion or whatever or what have you. So take this time to do that. So yeah, there's one right there. I thought I saw something. Okay, I guess I didn't, but nonetheless. What's another thing? Oh, Jesus, my throat. All this talking. I think another thing, editing. Take this time to improve your editing. Me personally, as I said earlier, I enjoy editing my own work. Because when I'm taking a photo, I swear to God, this is not to be cliche, I already am thinking about how I'm going to edit it. I'm like, oh yes, I can't wait to get home because I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I was doing it yesterday with the first set of photos I took with this camera, the S5, with the kit lens, which is just a 20 to 60 millimeter f3.5 to 5.6 lens. And I took some portraits with it. And as I was previewing them in the camera, I was already going through my mind how I'm gonna process these photos when I get home. I was getting excited about like, oh, I can't wait to do this and do that. And I have a sense of pride that when I'm done with the photo, like I did that. Meaning from the beginning, from the planning to the production of taking the photo, and then the post processing at the end. Like I was in control front to back. So if you ever see a photo online that I did, I not only took it, planned it, etc., but I also edited it myself. So whether you like it or don't like it, I at least have, I could sleep better at night as a creative that I at least put my all out there and I put it all into that photo. So this right now is a good time for you to do just that yourself. I spend more time working on improving my editing than I do my photography. There are many times where I underexpose a stop or two. You don't know it because, well, camera has a great dynamic range, and that goes for any camera you have right about now. And there, you could fix it in post if you shoot in RAW very easily. But to do it right, where in which no one knows, well, that's where the post processing comes from. Take the time. If you're editing in Lightroom, it's non-destructive editing. Therefore, you're not ruining or editing the raw file. So fuck it, go for it. And if worst comes to worst, you press that reset button and you start again. Okay? I've done it a million, trillion, gazillion times, but I enjoy the process of it. I just like where an image may take me because I look at an image, and I also think about the process of me taking the image too. It's not just when I'm looking at it when I'm at home, like during the process of capturing the photos. So what is it saying to me? And then how do I communicate that through my editing? Because let's say if I want vintage when I'm planning a shoot, and then vintage as I'm shooting, I want it still to give me, let's say, vintage at the end. And if you see it and say, wow, that was great vintage. Wow, this looks cool, vintagey. Awesome, then I did my job, because that's really what I'm trying to communicate through every stage of the process of the photo. So take the questions or whatnot. Feel free to hit me up. I'm not a wizard at like Lightroom and Photoshop. I think I do a good job. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like I'm a scholar. But I for sure know some good channels and some videos I can help you find that could really help you improve. The best way I improved is just by doing it. Just do it. Just do it. I have, where is it? Here we go. For my retouching, boom. I use the Intuos small tablet. Freaking best investment for post-processing I ever spent. So maybe, get yourself a tablet. It's worth it. I'm telling you. What I recently did, because I want to let you know I eat my words. Like, I practice what I preach. I really strengthened my skill in frequency separation, which many of you may know is a technique to smooth skin and clear up skin. A technique that is very useful for beauty editorial, and I want to do way more beauty editorial for 2021. So I sat down, watched the video, and then got out an image and started practicing. Practice. There were actually a couple times where I had just scrapped the whole photo and started again. Practice. And then once I got it down packed, I saved some actions in Photoshop, and now I can quickly just go bloop, bloop, bloop. And actions are like presets in Photoshop, by the way. And now I use it all the time, and it's a technique that I'm like so grateful that I took the time, took a day or two to really understand, and now I use it all the time. I love it. Now, again, if I didn't take the time to really try to really push myself in editing and just felt snobby that I know it all and my photos are fine the way I do it, and then I would never have taken the time to improve myself and learn an entirely new technique that makes my photos better and thus me enjoy the process. Oh, I see some posts here. Let's see here. I am blind, so I'm going to take off my glasses. Oh, LOL. Yo, I got some beans on the stove. You know how long they should be cooked for? I have no damn clue. They're pinto beans. Well, cook them as long as you need to cook them. So there you go. I don't know what to say, brother. But, if you want to take photos of your pinto beans, I might be able to help you out with that. Tell you what lighting you need. But good luck on the pinto beans, brother. You're going to listen to me if you can't watch me, okay? So, again, like I said, post-processing is, I think, something you should take your time at. Uh, what else is there? Let me see here. What? How long have we? Dang, I don't even know. But are any of you expecting to get any new glass, any new cameras, or any new gear during the holidays? If so, that's awesome. My most important concern is to try to help you, inspire you to go out and use it. Do way less comparison. Well, buy good glass. Do way less comparison about new cameras. Like the last quarter, as you know, so many new cameras came out, but so many less videos about improving your photography came out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've watched a lot of them. They're entertaining. I get you. They're addictive to watch. But don't get lost in watching and not shooting more. Just as much as I watched, I've shot way more, especially this past month, clients and some editorial work and stuff like that. So I don't feel as guilty, but I get it. They're addictive to watch, especially if I'm cooking dinner or something. They're good like white noise. But shoot more. Take this time, turn these holidays, to really work on something. At least one thing. One thing. I guarantee you, like, I'll pick up the cell phone and go to Lightroom mobile app and create a dope photo out of it and feel just as proud as if I used my S5 and shot the same kind of photo with everything, replicate the same kind of photo. I want you to, the reason why I'm asking you to find a homework for you is to do creatively over the holidays is because I want you to fall in love and fall in love and fall in love and fall in love with photography. Otherwise, this is just like, I don't know, an expensive hobby for you or something, a job. As soon as it becomes a job, this stuff, it's over, quite honestly. Wait, looks like I got some stuff here. Basil, Tiffany, Santa bringing any lenses for Christmas? Ayo. Sigma 45 2.8 and the Panasonic 20 to 60 millimeter. Well, this Santa is not bringing anybody any lenses, so let's start with that. Heyo. But quite honestly, I picked up the 45 millimeter f2.8 lens. Love it. It is amazing. Here we go. So this is one of my favorite camera bags I like using. It's the Think Tank cool dope retro bag. It's super stylish. But boom. Okay, so this is the 85 millimeter f1.8 lens, L mount Lumix lens. It's not out yet, but I'm testing it out and it kicks ass. I really like it and it's compact. But recently I got, like I said, the 45 millimeter. Let's take a little look-see here. Boom. Okay, check that out. Love it. And let me make sure I'm in focus here. Here we go. This thing is built like a tank. It's the Sigma's new contemporary lenses, and they're so beautiful. Like, honestly, if you just put it on a shelf, it just looks sexy as hell. Has your little aperture ring, super solid and clickable. Metal hoods. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. Anyway, beautifully designed. I'm actually gonna pick up the 35 millimeter lens that they just coming out with, and they came out with like a 65 millimeter and a 24 millimeter. But I'm for sure gonna pick up the 35 for filmmaking. But it's such a great lens. F4 is like my favorite aperture to shoot with it. I think it's super sharp there. But anyway, it's super compact. So those are the first two L mount lenses that I have, meaning like this is the second one, the 20 to 60 millimeter that I use with it. And quite honestly, it's a great lens. It's really a great lens. Of course, I wish it could go wider open, but for a kit lens, it kicks ass. It's super wide. And when I'm vlogging or something, it's like, yeah, it does a job. So that's what I did for myself this fourth quarter for Christmas and Hanukkah and everything else. The Hawk's Eye. I'd like to get a new camera, price aside, between Lumix FF or Sony A7R4. I currently use my G9 with 42.5. Okay, 42.5 f1.2 lens. Well, the Hawk's Hope. I freaking love that lens. And that's a great combination. I have it right here. Look at that. How convenient. So this is a gorgeous lens. It's for full frame equivalent for those that don't know, because it's a micro four thirds lens. It's an 85 millimeter. Fantastic lens. It gives you dual image stabilization because it has stabilization in the lens, so on the body. Fantastic lens. And the G9 is a monster. And as I said earlier, I'm actually streaming live through the G9 right now. Now, personally, when I went full frame with Lumix, I simply loved it. And the camera I've been shooting with a lot, and you can check out the images on Instagram because I tag which camera I'm using, is the Lumix S1. Now, if you take a look, here's the new full frame equivalent Lumix. Here's the S5, and here's the S1. It's a big difference. And if you check out my video, about the Lumix S5 and my favorite features, you will see the comparison between the two sizes. And this is basically roughly around the same size or a little bit smaller than the GH5, which is a micro four thirds camera, but it's full frame. And it gives me the same sensor size and resolution as the S1 and the S1H. Boom. But yet with the S5, I can do, again, up to 5.9K video externally to an Atomos. So this thing's it's a monster, but yet it's super small and compact. Now, watch out for a video in the future for my still photography work shot with the S5. I will be doing that to show you what can be done with it. But personally, as you know, I'm a Lumix advocate, so I'm going to tell you to go with Lumix. So there you go. Okay? The Hawk's Eye. It's an expensive hobby for me. Yes, it is. Yes, photography for sure is. Like I tell people, look, if you're getting into it, go hard. Like if you can, if $1,000 you can do, don't do 500. If you can do 15, do 1,500. You really do get what you pay for in photography every time. But the good thing about it is that it's a really good investment. You buy a body for $2,000, later on you can still sell it for 1,500, 1,600. You can't even get that kind of return with your fucking car, and especially with lenses. Now, here we go. Basil Tiffany says, I shoot 2 S1 bodies and love them. Yes, I can't disagree with you more. Again, here's an S1. This thing is a monster. It's beast. But it's limited in photography, and it's a fantastic camera. And I've used it for the past year professionally and creatively. But the S5 not only gives me the same resolution, super small and lightweight, but the video is amazing. And this just doesn't give me the video that I need. And honestly, I got the... hold on. Here we go. I got the S5 to be my B camera for when I do my short documentaries and film work with my S1H as my A camera. So this is my primary camera when I'm filming, but I wanted something light and quick, but still give me the same resolution and quality, and I could just run and gun with the S5. So that's why I got the S5, okay? So I'm not just talking about Lumix because of whatever. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I bought the S5. I mean the S1H. I bought the S5, and I bought the 42.5 lens, which I think every full-frame Lumix owner should have, like, immediately. It's a fantastic lens. It's a great buy. It's really inexpensive for the quality you could get out of it. So freaking pick one up. And no, I'm not sponsored by Sigma, but this stuff is good. Like, Sigma glass is good. Anywho, all right, that's about it for the questions right there. Cool. So, I really appreciate everybody taking the time to tune in on a Christmas Eve. Ho, 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 and merry up. With all that said, make sure you go ahead and find me on Instagram at Robert Silva Photography. You can see all my portrait, whether it be indoor, outdoor work. And if you have any questions, you could always reach me there. DM me, But follow me, please. I would appreciate it. And right now, I'm going to follow you back. So how's that sound? I'm going to follow you back. Make sure you say hi. Make sure you mention my YouTube channel that you saw me there. And I will press that follow button right back. I promise, I promise, I promise. You could go ahead and follow me on Facebook and Patreon and Twitter, Robert Silver Photog. But I'm most active on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, just to give you a little heads up there. Okay. I hope you enjoyed any of the things I said. And as I always say, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, don't forget to press that like, share, subscribe, and of course hit that bell icon for more upcoming videos. I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting, stay creative.